I've just come down for a look at the Arbury Road hedging scheme where the new cycle lane is being put in and the old hedge, one of the oldest ones of this part of the city, was removed. Now allegedly hundreds if not thousands of plug plants have been put in where hand weeding has been done. They include quite a broad mix of species, and I'm going to say, well, if they've done that, can't see them. I'm not quite ready to call shenanigans, but if this has been weeded and planted with something other than the pretty standard mix of urban weeds that grow in heavily contaminated ground by a road, then I'm not seeing it. So I'm seeing absolutely no evidence of that. Now, they might have planted them and they immediately turned their nose up and died, or there might be odd survivor. They might have planted that garlic mustard there, Alliaria petiolata, common enough. There aren't many examples of it, but I'm going to say whatever they've done has been completely ineffective, and we've gone from a very diverse, very rich mix of species down to, well, very little of interest at all. What a colossal mess. There's places which look like they may have been weeded and there may have been some planting done, but yeah, I mean, there's garlic mustard at an interesting spacing pattern. It's very unhappy looking garlic mustard, like it's been bunged in and ignored, maybe, but I doubt it. And that'll be about it. So yeah, you've gone from species rich and diverse to, well, species very, very poor and not at all diverse. I'm going to walk around the other side now. Allegedly there was hand weeding done here as well. One of the problems when you dig this up and churn up the root is only those things with ineradicable roots come back and survive quickly. Nothing else does very well. So further down it's completely dominated by bindweed, which is a fine plant. It's okay to hedge, but if you churn everything up and leave the root of that and kill everything else, then that's what dominates, especially if you mulch on top. So only things with a sort of capacity to grow rapidly from broken up root through that will do well. Let's walk around the other side and see what we see. This is the other side of the hedge, and so much for hand weeding. A few of those things with massive numbers of seeds in the soil have come through. Again, garlic mustard. Dead nettle has come back from the verge on this side. Thistle, nettle, bindweed, but see, it's all about the bindweed. If you dig up a hedge with some bindweed in it and break up the root of everything, mulch very heavily on top, and then put a trellis up on one side, which is basically what this support is, this wire fence is, that really massively favours a climbing plant, then what you'll get is you'll get that climbing plant which will shade out everything else, and from there it'll colonise back into the trees, which it's doing, and it'll utterly predominate. This was an old hedge. It had been here since before the site was anything like as polluted, and that meant it had a broad diverse range of species. But now it is that polluted, now it is that heavily contaminated with nitrate and phosphate, which comes in road runoff from traffic and from crap sprayed about the place from cars and lorries. Then only those species which very much thrive there can colonise it quickly. If the site is vacant, as opposed to already occupied for things that do well in, well, we used to do well here, then all you get is the things that do well there now. Nettle loves phosphate, bindweed loves the fertile disturbed ground, and that is now going to predominate, and it's going to wipe everything else out, as it's really clearly doing. This is not a site which has had any kind of meaningful reclamation. It has had a token replanting which, from as far as I can see, has turned its nose up and died. Tokenism from the city deal. They didn't care about the ecology of the site, they don't care about this part of the city and any kind of environmental concerns here at all. They planted what they could get at the end of the growing season, which is a not very super mix. I mean, look at the shrubs. This is with intensive watering all summer last year and all spring this year, and well, they're surviving. It's summer now, they're not thriving. Should be doing better than this. So there you go. What a mess. I'll compile these two vids together, send them to City Deal, put them on YouTube, see if it makes a damn bit of difference, but it won't, because bluntly, they spend a whole load of money on a cycle lane which does half of the road but not the dangerous part. I don't give a toss about anything else. They picked the bit without any parking, so it was not controversial. That's all they've done.